Hey there. Welcome back to the channel. They're back. That person who shattered your heart into pieces. The one who made you question everything you thought you knew about love. They're texting you again, and your hands are literally shaking as you read their messages. They say, "I miss you." They write, "I made a mistake." They ask, "Can we talk?" And suddenly, all those sleepless nights come flooding back. All those mornings you woke up hoping it was just a nightmare. All those times you stared at your phone, waiting for them to reach out. Now, they finally have, and you don't know what to feel. Part of you wants to scream, "Where were you when I needed you?" Another part wants to run straight back to them, because the pain of missing them has been unbearable. Your heart is racing, your mind is spinning, and you feel like you're drowning in a sea of conflicting emotions. But before you type that response, before you agree to meet up, before you let hope creep back in, I need you to remember something. When they left, it wasn't an accident. They didn't slip and fall out of your life. They made a choice. They looked at your tears. They heard your voice breaking. They saw the love in your eyes, and they decided to walk away anyway. You probably begged them to stay, didn't you? You probably promised to be better, to change, to give them space. You probably laid your heart bare and showed them exactly how much losing them would destroy you. And they left anyway. That wasn't confusion. That was a decision. Marcus Aurelius once wrote, "When someone shows you who they are, believe them the first time." They showed you who they are when they chose their comfort over your connection. They showed you who they are when they picked their freedom over your future together. They showed you who they are when they decided you weren't worth fighting for. Today, I'm going to share 7 truths that will save you from making the biggest mistake of your life, giving them another chance to hurt you. These aren't just philosophical ideas. These are life preservers for people drowning in false hope. By the end of this video, you'll understand why their return isn't the answer to your prayers. It's a test of everything you've learned about your own worth. If they've been trying to come back and you're feeling torn between your heart and your head, write, "I survived you once, I don't need you twice" in the comments. Because that's exactly what we're going to learn to believe. Number 1. They left when your heart was wide open. Do you remember the exact moment they told you it was over? I bet you do. It's burned into your memory like a scar. Maybe you were having dinner together and everything felt normal. Maybe you were lying in bed next to them, feeling safe and loved. Maybe you had just told them about your day, completely unaware that they had already decided to end yours. They chose that moment, when you were vulnerable, when you trusted them completely, when your heart was wide open, to deliver the killing blow. They watched you crumble in real time. They saw the exact moment your world fell apart, and they did it anyway. Think about how cruel that timing was. They could have been honest weeks earlier when they first started having doubts. They could have given you a heads up that they were struggling with the relationship. Instead, they let you keep loving them, keep planning with them, keep believing in them, all while knowing they were going to leave. That's not just heartbreak, that's betrayal. They betrayed your trust by letting you invest in a future they had already decided didn't exist. They betrayed your love by accepting it while planning to throw it away. They betrayed your vulnerability by using it against you. The Stoics taught that character is revealed in moments of choice, when they had to choose between your feelings and their convenience. They chose their convenience. When they had to choose between honesty and deception, they chose deception. When they had to choose between staying and fighting or leaving and hurting you, they chose to leave. Now they're back, probably saying they needed time to think, needed space to grow, needed to figure themselves out. But here's what really happened. They needed to make sure the grass wasn't greener somewhere else. They needed to test if they could do better than you. They needed to see if anyone else would love them the way you did. And now that they've discovered that replacing your love isn't as easy as they thought, they want back in. They want to return to the safety of your heart without acknowledging that they're the reason it's no longer safe to open it. You gave them your heart when it was whole, and they broke it. Now they want it back, but it's not the same heart they left behind. It's been through trauma. It's been rebuilt with walls and boundaries they never had to face before. It's learned to protect itself from people exactly like them. Don't let them back into a heart they chose to break. Don't give them access to a love they chose to abandon. Don't open what they chose to close. Your heart survived their departure. Don't let their return undo all that healing. Number 2. Your tears became your strength. Remember those nights when you couldn't stop crying? When the pain felt so intense, you thought it might actually kill you. When you curled up on the bathroom floor because the bed still smelled like them. When you had to excuse yourself from work because their memory hit you like a truck. You probably thought you were falling apart. You probably believed you were weak for missing someone who clearly didn't miss you back. You probably felt ashamed of how much their absence affected you. But here's what you didn't realize at the time. You weren't breaking down. You were breaking through. Every tear you cried was washing away the illusion that they were irreplaceable. Every sleepless night was teaching you that you could survive without them. Every morning you forced yourself out of bed was proof that you were stronger than your pain. Every day you chose to keep going was you choosing yourself over someone who chose to leave. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "The impediment to action advances action. What stands in the way becomes the way." Your heartbreak wasn't just something that happened to you. It was something that happened for you. It was the obstacle that forced you to discover strength you didn't know you had. Think about who you were when they first left versus who you are now. Back then, you probably couldn't imagine a single day without them. Now, you've lived months or maybe years proving that not only can you survive without them, you can thrive. Back then, their opinion of you determined your mood for the entire day. Now, you've learned that your worth doesn't require their recognition. All of that growth happened because they weren't there to interrupt it. All of that healing happened because you were forced to do it alone. All of that strength developed because you had no choice but to become your own source of comfort. They're coming back now, expecting to find the same broken person they left behind. They're expecting to find someone who still needs their validation, someone who's been waiting for them to come back and fix everything. They have no idea that you already fixed yourself. Your tears didn't make you weak. They watered the seeds of your independence. Your pain didn't diminish you. It refined you. Your heartbreak didn't destroy you. It reconstructed you into someone who doesn't need them anymore. Don't let them back into a life you built without them. Don't let them interrupt the peace you fought so hard to find. Don't let them undo the progress that their absence made possible. You cried enough tears over someone who didn't deserve them. Don't cry more by letting them back in. Number 3, they're counting on your loneliness, not your love. Let's be honest about something that's hard to admit. Since they left, there have been moments when you felt incredibly lonely. Moments when you missed having someone to share your day with. Moments when you wanted to text someone about something funny that happened, and you realized they were the person you used to text. Moments when you went to bed wishing someone was there to hold you. That loneliness is normal. It's human. It's proof that you have a heart capable of deep connection, but they're banking on that loneliness to cloud your judgment. They're hoping that your desire for companionship will override your memory of why you're alone in the first place. They're not coming back because they've realized you're the love of their life. They're coming back because they've realized that finding someone else who loves them the way you did is harder than they thought. They're not returning to you, they're returning to the comfort, security, and unconditional love you provided. Think about the timing of their return. Did they reach out right after you posted something happy on social media? Did they contact you after hearing through mutual friends that you were doing well? Did they show up right when you were starting to feel genuinely okay without them? That's not a coincidence. That's strategy. Epictetus taught that we suffer more from our opinions about events than from the events themselves. Your opinion that you need someone to be complete is what they're exploiting. But you've already proven that opinion is wrong. You've been complete this entire time. You just forgot because you were so used to sharing your completeness with them. They're offering you a solution to a problem you've already solved. You were lonely, but you learned how to enjoy your own company. You missed having someone to talk to, but you discovered the peace of your own thoughts. You wanted someone to share experiences with, but you found joy in experiencing life on your own terms. Your loneliness was temporary, but your growth is permanent. Your sadness was seasonal, but your strength is lasting. Your heartbreak was situational, but your healing is foundational. Don't trade permanent progress for temporary comfort. They're hoping you've forgotten that you were lonely in the relationship too. Lonely for genuine affection, lonely for real commitment, lonely for someone who chose you every day instead of looking for reasons to leave. Don't let current loneliness make you forget past loneliness that was so much worse because it happened while you were with someone who was supposed to eliminate it. You've learned to be alone without being lonely. Don't give that power away to someone who made you feel alone, even when you were together. Number 4, you know how this story ends. Here's the most painful truth of all. If you take them back, you already know how this story ends. It ends with them leaving again. Maybe not tomorrow, maybe not next month, but eventually when staying gets difficult again, when commitment requires sacrifice again, when loving you demands more effort than they want to give, they'll leave again. You know this because they've already shown you who they are when relationships get challenging. They're not someone who stays and fights. They're someone who runs when things get complicated. They're not someone who works through problems. They're someone who abandons ship the moment they see stormy weather. The most heartbreaking part is that you can see it coming this time. You can imagine the exact moment when they'll start pulling away again. You can predict the conversations where they'll start creating distance. You can foresee the day when they'll tell you they need space again, they need to think again, they need to find themselves again. Marcus Aurelius wrote, "Very little is needed to make a happy life. It is all within yourself, in your way of thinking." You've learned this lesson the hard way. You've discovered that happiness doesn't require their presence. But if you take them back, you'll be choosing to unlearn that lesson. You'll be choosing to make your happiness dependent on someone who's already proven they're unreliable. Think about how exhausting it would be to love someone while constantly waiting for them to leave again. Think about how draining it would be to invest in a relationship while knowing that your investment isn't secure. Think about how painful it would be to open your heart to someone who's already shown they're willing to close it. You'd spend every disagreement wondering if this is the one that makes them leave. You'd spend every quiet moment wondering if they're thinking about leaving. You'd spend every day walking on eggshells, trying to be perfect enough to make them stay, knowing that your perfection wasn't enough the first time. That's not a relationship. That's emotional prison. That's not love. That's anxiety with company. That's not a second chance. That's a prolonged goodbye. The definition of insanity is doing the same thing over and over again and expecting different results. Taking them back is the definition of insanity. They haven't changed. The circumstances that made them leave haven't changed. The only thing that's changed is that they've realized leaving you was harder than they expected. But that realization doesn't make them a different person. It just makes them a person with regret. And regret isn't the same as transformation. Regret isn't the same as growth. Regret isn't enough to build a future on. You already lived through the ending of this story once. Don't choose to live through it again. Number 5. They want your forgiveness without your healing. There's something they want from you that's even more valuable than your love. Your forgiveness. They want you to absolve them of the guilt they've been carrying since they left. They want you to tell them it's okay that they hurt you. They want you to make their conscience clean again by pretending their actions didn't have consequences. But here's what they don't want: to deal with those consequences. They don't want to work through the trust issues their departure created. They don't want to address the abandonment fears they triggered. They don't want to acknowledge the trauma their leaving caused. They just want to skip over all of that and go back to the way things were before. They're asking you to pretend that their absence didn't change you. They want you to act like the months of pain, the nights of crying, the days of questioning your worth never happened. They want access to the person you were before they hurt you, not the person you became after they left. The Stoics believed that we grow through adversity, not despite it. Your growth since they left isn't something to be ashamed of or hidden. It's something to be proud of and protected. You've developed boundaries they never had to respect. You've built strength they never had to acknowledge. You've found peace they never had to maintain. But if you take them back without making them accountable for the healing you had to do in their absence, you're essentially telling them that their actions had no consequences. You're teaching them that they can hurt you and face no real repercussions. You're showing them that your pain doesn't matter as long as they eventually decide they want you back. Real accountability looks like them understanding the depth of damage their leaving caused. It looks like them taking responsibility for the trauma they created. It looks like them proving through consistent actions over a long period of time that they've genuinely changed. It looks like them earning back your trust instead of expecting it to be automatically restored. But they don't want to do that work. They want the benefits of your forgiveness without the effort that forgiveness requires. They want the comfort of your love without the commitment that love deserves. They want the security of your presence without the reliability that presence needs. Seneca wrote, "Every new beginning comes from some other beginning's end." Your healing was a new beginning that came from the end of your relationship with them. Don't let them interrupt that beginning. Don't let them undo that healing. Don't let them convince you that your growth was unnecessary because they've decided to come back. Your healing happened for a reason. Your growth served a purpose. Your strength developed out of necessity. Don't abandon the lessons you learned just because the teacher who taught them wants back into your classroom. Number 6. Your peace is more precious than their presence. Since they left, you've discovered something beautiful. Peace. Real, genuine, uninterrupted peace. You wake up without anxiety about their mood. You go to sleep without wondering if they still love you. You make plans without worrying if they'll cancel. You exist without constantly monitoring someone else's emotional temperature. This peace didn't come easily. You fought for it. You cried for it. You struggled for it. You earned it through months of healing, growing, and learning to love yourself. It's not just the absence of drama. It's the presence of genuine contentment with your life as it is. Now they want back in, and they're asking you to trade that peace for their presence. They're asking you to give up the calm you've cultivated for the chaos you remember. They're asking you to exchange your serenity for their uncertainty. Marcus Aurelius wrote, You have power over your mind, not outside events. Realize this, and you will find strength. Your peace comes from within, not from them. It's not dependent on their approval, their presence, or their love. It's something you created and something you can protect. Think about what your life looks like now. You make decisions based on what's best for you, not what will keep them happy. You spend your energy on things that fulfill you, not on managing their emotions. You sleep soundly because your conscience is clear, not because you've exhausted yourself trying to be perfect for someone else. That peace is priceless. It's the foundation of everything good in your life now. It's what allows you to love yourself, to trust your judgment, to feel confident in your decisions. It's what makes you attractive to people who deserve your love and repulsive to people who want to exploit it. If you let them back in, you'll be trading your peace for chaos. You'll be trading your certainty for anxiety. You'll be trading your self-respect for their validation. You'll be trading the beautiful life you've built for the painful life you escaped. They're not offering you peace in return. They're offering you the same emotional roller coaster you rode before, the highs of their attention mixed with the lows of their inconsistency. They're offering you the same uncertainty that made you question everything about yourself. They're offering you the same drama that stole your sleep and your sanity. Your peace isn't just a feeling. It's proof that you've learned to love yourself. It's evidence that you've grown beyond needing external validation. It's confirmation that you've become someone who values internal harmony over external chaos. Don't give away what took you so long to find. Don't trade what's truly valuable for what's merely familiar. Don't sacrifice your peace for someone who never appreciated it when they had access to it. Number 7, you are not their safety net. Here's the hardest truth to accept. You are not their first choice. You're their safety net. They didn't come back because they realized you're irreplaceable. They came back because they realized replacing you is difficult. There's a massive difference between those two things. They spent months or years trying to find someone better than you. They explored other options, dated other people, convinced themselves they could do better. They only came back when those other options didn't work out, when they realized that what you gave them isn't easy to find elsewhere. You're not their soulmate. You're their backup plan. You're not the love of their life. You're the love that's convenient for their life right now. You're not their destiny. You're their default when their first choices don't work out. Think about how that feels. Really think about it. They didn't wake up one day missing your laugh, your smile, your heart. They woke up one day realizing that finding someone else who would love them unconditionally, support them consistently, and forgive them repeatedly was harder than they thought. Epictetus taught that no one can hurt you without your permission. When you accept being someone's backup plan, you're giving them permission to hurt you again. You're telling them that your worth is negotiable, that your love is dispensable, that your heart is available whenever it's convenient for them. You deserve to be someone's first choice, not their last resort. You deserve to be with someone who chooses you when they have other options, not someone who only chooses you when their other options are exhausted. You deserve someone who comes to you because they can't imagine life without you, not because they tried life without you and realized it was harder than expected. The person who truly loves you will never make you feel like a backup plan. They'll make you feel like their only plan. They won't come back to you after testing other waters. They'll stay with you because they never want to lose you in the first place. They're asking you to accept being their safety net, but you've learned to be your own safety net. You've learned to catch yourself when you fall. You've learned to comfort yourself when you're sad. You've learned to celebrate yourself when you succeed. You don't need to be anyone's backup plan because you've become your own primary plan. The most powerful thing you can do is refuse to be someone's consolation prize. Refuse to be the person they settle for when they can't have who they really want. Refuse to be the safe choice for someone who sees you as predictable rather than precious. You are not a safety net. You are not a backup plan. You are not a consolation prize. You are the main event in your own life, and anyone who doesn't see that doesn't deserve access to that event. If you've made it this far, your heart already knows what your head is trying to tell you. They hurt you on purpose when they left, and taking them back would be hurting yourself on purpose. You've survived their absence, discovered your strength, and built a life that doesn't require their presence to be beautiful. Their return isn't a gift, it's a test. It's testing whether you've truly learned your worth, or if you're still willing to settle for less than you deserve. It's testing whether you'll choose your peace or their presence. It's testing whether you'll honor your growth or abandon it for false hope. The 7 truths I've shared aren't just ideas, they're lifelines. Hold on to them when they try to convince you that this time will be different. Remember them when nostalgia tries to rewrite the history of why they left. Use them when your lonely heart tries to override your wise mind. Right now, write this in the comments. I choose the love that stayed my own. Make that declaration. Mean it. Live it. If this video helped you see that their return is not the blessing you thought it would be, if it helped you understand that you've outgrown the need for their validation, then share it with someone who might be facing the same crossroads. Subscribe for more content about choosing yourself, protecting your peace, and never settling for love that leaves. Because you've already proven you can live without them. Now prove you can thrive without them. Remember, they left when you needed them most, but you stayed with yourself through everything. They chose uncertainty over your love, but you chose growth over their chaos. They decided you weren't worth staying for, but you've proven you're worth everything to yourself. Don't let someone who treated your heart like a revolving door convince you to unlock it again. Don't let someone who saw your love as optional make you forget it's essential. Don't let someone who chose to leave once get the chance to leave twice. Your future is bright, your peace is precious, and your heart is healing. Don't let them interrupt any of those things. Choose yourself. You've earned it.